is drafting Kingston Road. Thank you for seeing us today. We'd like to discuss safety in the building and the treatment of the residents. I thought we were going to discuss bed bugs. Well, bed bugs have no choice. They do what they do. The human beings have let them in. So why don't we talk about the human beings first, and then get to the bed bugs. You have issues about the fire system. That's a good metaphor, actually, because myself and another tenant have been trying to put out a lot of fires here. Little emergencies, big emergencies, ongoing emergencies, ongoing crisis. Are you aware that there are many people with psychiatric illness who have no housing, who are on our streets, who need supportive housing? Are you aware that many people in this building, 550 Kingston Road, are also in need of support and are not getting it? Is it fair that someone with a true psychiatric illness, and the word illness is debatable, because when we look at the way 550 is run, we could call that environment, this environment, sick. And the SHC is enabling the destruction of psychiatric survivors, those who have already been broken down by the system, even the institutions have reached their final destination. Dope them up and shut them down. That's what it feels like. Because if they're too aware, they might act up. Are you aware of how many people in our building have military backgrounds? If I were, I couldn't tell you. Why is that? Confidentiality. So, we're not allowed to know about the histories, let's say, the military histories of many of the people here. That's correct. Have you been trained by any Canadian or any other governmental military agency? That's confidential. Is it true that you told one of the residents that you had been trained by the Israeli commandos? I told you, David, that would be a breach of confidentiality. So if you said that, then you would have overstepped your bounds. Correct. Are you aware of a gentleman here who's a former military nurse? I told you I can't comment on specific residents. Okay. It seems as if you know a lot about us, but you don't want us to know about each other. Okay, that's correct. Oh, can you tell us a little bit about on your background. That's confidential. I was told from one resident that you'd worked in a prison. No comment. I was told that Kathleen was a stockbroker. No comment. I was told you I was concerned that perhaps the staff wasn't trained well enough to handle this building. You said they were trained very well. Well, where were you trained? No comment. Where was Kathleen trained? She's no longer with the collective. No. Yeah, the collective. It's interesting, Kathleen referred to it as the company. Very corporate term, but it's a coalition, right? What's your definition of a coalition? Groups of people working to support each other for a common goal. So, what is the common goal of 550 Kingston Road? To support those who are psychiatric survivors and or have been through the criminal justice system, and these people must be able to be self-sufficient and require, I guess, not minimal support, but support is needed. That sounds like a really great place. When I came here, I was really excited about that. I thought it would be supportive, you know. But there are a number of people in this building that are wasting away. Are you aware of that? Again, I can't comment on. Are you aware of that? We have certain individuals that need more support than others, yes. Are they getting it? We're doing the best we can. Yes, you are doing the best you can. But why is a former military nurse living in a double unit? And why did he tell me he's allowed to stay there for another 4 years while people with psychiatric illness are dying on the streets? Is that the best you can do? Each case is individual. Right, but you don't want to talk about individual cases. So, I guess we can talk about the, I don't know, what can we talk about? So, I don't know, maybe I'll take a break, yeah.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this task and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Are you aware that Wolfie's psychiatrist told him that this is a dying building? Is it dying from neglect, or is it dying from slow murder? Because I feel, and from what others here have told me, this feels like it's by design. Is that possible? Would that be delusional thinking? We are here to support you. Okay, then just answer my questions honestly. And You can't use people's names here. Can I use their first initial? No. Well, Bev wrote my name all over the notes, all over the minutes, as well as many other people's names. But she lied, and she omitted. I'm telling the truth. All we're asking for is initials. You set the precedent. Bev set the precedent. Bev made me a target. Was this by accident? That she said in those notes that I was concerned about drug dealers living in the building when I never said such a thing, because I heard from Sue that in the past, when they tried to get the drug dealers out, her place was burnt down. Why would I be that stupid to say something like that, which I do not even know? But if there are, boy, did she make me a target. And then she said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you're not supposed to use people's names in the minutes. And Lori says, you've been trained very well. Well, who trained you that way? Well, that's how we did it at the last place I worked. And where was that? That's confidential. You know, I think it's standard practice in this kind of situation, and it has been so with these minutes at this building for a long time. Who trained you how to take minutes? And did anybody look at those minutes before you put them out? And why did you take the notes during the meeting? You were the one. There was Lori, there was Kathleen, there was Pearl, there was you. And you had to take minutes and deal with a new crowd of people. And when Sue interrupted my speech about the undercover cop drug dealer named Brad who's coming in this building and destroying people on crack, people who have no hope because they live in a fucked up place. Excuse my French. But there has been many, many mindfucks at 550 Kingston Road. If Avis's incident was minor, as the police and the agencies, but especially SHC, Lori, Bev, the division, it's all a minor incident. Well, it was no minor incident, because Gina was psychologically raped that night if nothing happened to Avis. If this is all, Avis knew that Gina was at Sue's, and she didn't want to speak to Sue. Even Bev acknowledged during her meeting with Gina and I, in which she didn't even ask me for my last name. The next time I met her, she called me David Dingwall. Sue said she's got a friend in the building, he's a security guard named David Dingwall. And I'm going, there's a guy in fucking politics named David Dingwall. Why does she think I was David Dingwall? Well, the time I was in there at Wolfie, she made a note of my name. She said, no, it's Rubinoff. David Rubinoff. As if you don't know me. As if you don't know every client in here. Every client. Every prisoner, I would say. And by me having the courage to stand up and speak the truth, not just my truth, but on behalf of those who were not there, only 14 people, 14 residents out of 140 attended one of the biggest meetings of the year, all mixed into one. Hello, goodbye, meet your new worker, talking about gardening. I said, I know, plants are important, but so are people. And people have died here like Marietta of neglect, an elderly person who came home from hospital, very unwell. And from what I hear from Wolfie, they tried to get the police to open the door. They tried to get one of the emergency SHC staff, and nobody would do it. And she later, when they finally did get her out into hospital, died in hospital. Last time I heard, her body was still at the morgue unclaimed. She can't be here to speak, but she suffered in silence. it's time that you folks listened. Because people are speaking all the time. Go into their places. Wolfie told me Kathleen and Lori used to come to his place for coffee. You know, hang out, have a coffee with them. Why don't we go hang out with some of the other tenants and have a coffee with them? See if they have any coffee in their cupboard. See if they have enough food in their stomachs. Have a look at their arms and legs.
Coming up, another 6 in a row on Toronto.
When I tried to raise my voice about the bed bugs and show Lori that article from the Star, she said she didn't even want to see it. There is no bed bug problem. Then they tried to raise it again. Another meeting. Well, I wasn't there, but I was told by Wolfie that Kathleen started scratching her arm, saying, "Ooh, I don't want to talk about that." Or stop talking about that. But you know what? There has been a conspiracy of silence here.
We went to Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and offered them a chance.
But it must be stopped.
Ever pillow top sale in exchange for some.
And when Bev told Donna that nothing's going to change, and when the head of Madison Avenue, Kelly, who I met with today, tells me that 10 years ago, a resident here was asking for more security, a camera. It's been 10 years.
Sleep Country's first ever pillow top sale ends
If they're going to place psychiatric survivors,
now with great savings. But hurry, Sleep Country's pillow top sale ends.
those who are gentle,
Call 1-888-SLEEP.
those who have a conscience, with those who don't.
Son, journey with me on a monumental
It
adventure.
doesn't matter if somebody's been in prison or not, but if they're going to destroy their fellow residents purposely, then somebody's got to go.
Time and time again.
This is supposed to be a place of support. I do not feel that SHC is fulfilling its mandate. In fact, if we look closely at the lease and the literature, it becomes evident that at 550 Kingston Road is not part of a coalition. It is unlike any other building in the SHC. It is known by many as the worst building at SHC.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Living here is like living in a game of Russian roulette.
And the Canada Pension Plan and Old Age Security only cover the basics. The federal
But
government
it's not.
must protect private pensions from corporate mismanagement.
We don't know. We don't know.
Security.
As Sue said, every now and then they bring someone in to shake things up. Chris Walt knows that guy.
Choices. This election, you can make a better one. Vote for a party that will.
It's quite possible that
The Canadian Labour Congress.
he was about to murder me. So I'm lucky to be alive.
West Nile virus leaves mosquitoes.
But that didn't stop him from pummeling, mounting,
Turn it to the
and Leia,
The listeners on the right are surrounded by
and
mosquitoes.
traumatizing many others.
What it's like to be protected by awe. There are many different ways to
And
protect
the so-called minor incident, which began as a drugging and a rape,
protected families.
traumatized the whole building.
Visit bug-free
If it didn't happen,
effective protection you can
then it will discredit those who do call if there is an emergency.
Weather reports are
If
sponsored
it did happen,
by today's parent.
then why are they calling it a minor incident?
Picking up the annual Mother's Day issue in today's parent magazine.
What are they suppressing?
Now.
The three most important words in
If it did not happen, then Gina was psychologically raped, and so were many in this building. And when Sue put up her notice, she scared people further.
Next to City Hall,
That's how you control them, through fear.
Square One, and only the Capitol
There
condominium.
is a conspiracy to destroy
High-rise builder of the year.
some beautiful, beautiful people.
Three equally important words in
Before they did it to the Jews, they worked on the psychiatric patients.
Spy Daniels. Call 905-306-6996.
There are many here with military backgrounds. The guy across from the hall from me, Alex, says he's got major anger issues.
Let's spend the night together.
She's good buddies with him. She's good buddies with Andreas as well. I said he feels like an undercover cop. And she nodded. I've gotten too good at feeling those that have a conscience, those who have been truly fucked by the system, and those that are purposely doing it to us.
6 in a row starts in 60
And this
seconds.
building is a mixture.
By the Infinity Dealers of Greater Toronto. So we'd like to go to Greece on
And I believe that these people should leave. The ones that are destroying us.
August.
Either that or create a new place for us.
Hey, Fred.
Out of this
She wants to go to Greece, huh?
psychiatric prison.
Redeem your points on any airline with no seat.
Masked, dressed up
Royal Bank Visa Platinum Avion.
as a supportive housing coalition.
1,000 bonus points. For details, call 1-877 Royal.
I've had keyed entries into my place.
First for you.
I'm concerned of arson.
And Brian
I've got my whole library of work
is
here.
not ready for summer.
I'm concerned about the guy
Yeah, where he could buy
who I want to
everything.
pick up
He
some
have the perfect
replenish for. To knock off eventually.
Just 179, made from
I've doped him up so much he can't even get out without wobbling all over the place.
crazy party.
So I brought him some replenish.
Too bad IKEA
But there are too many people here who need too much replenishing.
is here.
This is a human rights disaster. What they're doing is illegal, but they have no culpability. Graham knows all about this. He needs to inform us. We need to put the pieces together, but it's massive. The agencies are involved. Sue Goodwin works at Madison Avenue. She's been there for a long time. Fred is good friends with Bridget at SHC. They all fucking know. The agencies are feeding this building. We're just bodies. And they are, it's the Stockholm Syndrome where they get the captives to like them, and you become a lot of the people, but they're so phony, these women who run the place. Gina said it's like they're all programmed, and it's right. It feels like a modern day concentration camp. And when I'm building just one apartment, just a few, I guess there's a row of townhouses, and then there's another building. It's got all these fucking antennas up there. And Gene and I have both noticed our radios and televisions being fucked with. There are many, many instances of psychological abuse here that are very difficult to prove. But it is possible because the fact is, we're not delusional. Gene and I have become parents to our brothers and sisters that are dying here. They've lost trust in the staff. And Gene, they are seeing our actions, and they are cheering us on. And in some way or somehow, modeling something positive that's giving them hope, because they know what's happening to them. But they don't feel they have a choice. And they deserve a choice. They deserve better. They're not just torturing people in Iraq. They're torturing them here too. It's psychological torture. And how many people here are not psychiatrically ill or in need of Ontario Works or ODSP? And how many here are actually able and are working full-time? And what rent are they paying? And why are they taking the places of those who spend their lives at, what's that place, where Bob Rose works? I'd like to get Bob Rose involved. If he saw what's going on here, we could suspend SHC's running of this building. We need to declare the building dangerous. It's psychologically dangerous. We need to shut it down, and we need a group of people outside of SHC to come here and listen to the people's stories and see how they're living and find out and get to the bottom of this huge whitewash and this massive cover-up. People are dying here, and the guy across from me, Alex, whenever I leave my place now, I wave because you can actually see if somebody's looking at you through the peephole. John taught me that, the superintendent. So I wave to him, and now he knows that I know that he's watching me. But they could not have gained access to my place without his knowledge. And I remember he told Sue, or he told Gina, that he has to embellish his application for ODSP. He walks around in army pants sometimes. There's quite a few I've seen in army pants, yeah. What's his name? Wendell. Yeah, he's got army pants too. Saw him in the lobby. I said, "Are you in the military?" And he laughed. He goes, "I can't answer that." And then he got kind of aggressive. He goes, "If I was, what would be wrong with that?" I go, "Nothing. Just curious. I like your pants, man." He goes, "Well, I was in the cadets or something, but I dropped out." And then Ricky's an interesting character. Ricky's told me he's a lawyer, and he deals in arms acquisitions. He also said that we started going on about how they were not giving the soldiers and the trucks we're giving them in Afghanistan and stuff aren't good enough. That, if they're going to go there, they deserve the best protection. And it was interesting because when we talk about protection, there's been a history, according to Sue, people being bought off to either keep their mouth shut or become either informants. Sue, by the way, who I thought was a long-time activist, is also an investigative journalist and appears to have clearly been bought off and clearly was part of Gina's psychological rape that night and clearly exacerbated the problem by putting her note on the wall, telling women that factually, it wasn't like it's possible that another woman has been raped before she had all the facts, because Avis wasn't saying anything, right? She put up this note that all women should, go in pairs and stuff like that, and be wary. And remember, Lene came up to me and she said, "Who put that up?" I said, I didn't give Sue's name because she didn't sign it. I said, "I don't know, but somebody took it down." She goes, "That scared me." Was everything okay? And by that time, we were told things weren't. It really looked like it was a fraud, especially since she had done this before, according to somebody who told Wolfie that he used to be a resident here, and she told this before. So many things didn't add up with that. And the fallout, the aftermath, has really troubled Gina as well as me. And I think the other thing was during that long weekend, it was Easter. There was nobody. All these things always happen, when the people know that the staff are away. And so for that whole weekend, when people were supposed to enjoy themselves, everyone was like on edge, not knowing if this was real or not. And I remember Wolfie told me Lori McMahon told him to, he was calling her and concerned about it, and she said, "Well, just tell your friends, whoever you can, that not to worry. There's no rapist in your building." Or there's, what'd she say? I think Wolfie said that. There's the chance of there being a rapist in our building is just as the same as the chance of a rapist in any other building, and people shouldn't worry. So I thought, this is not Wolfie's job. A guy who's living in constant trauma as it is, who is extremely upset by the beatings of Leia and Monty, and extremely upset that Marietta had been allowed to die. And he told me, he said, "David," I said, "did you tell the girls?" And I always call them the girls. These are not girls. These are very intelligent, highly trained, manipulative, lying women. And I'm sorry to say that, but that is the truth. And they are very good at what they do. Very good at suppressing people and oppressing people. This is run like a jail. And anyway, what was I going to say? Shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, that this was not Wolfie's job to go and have to tell people. And people were coming up to me and Gina and, everyone trying to find out what's going on through us. And Avis isn't talking. And Sue's not getting much from Avis. And, and then I remember asking telling this to Andrew at Madison, and Andrew said, "Did they have an emergency meeting?" I go, "No," but you'd think they would, to sort of like, if this was a minor incident, just to bring everyone together or put up a notice, there was not a rape in the building, or you know, I mean, what the hell happened? Not knowing is the hardest part. And, you know, I think the chance of rape in this building is much greater. In fact, the psychological rape that is going on with people here all the time is massive. Massive. So Ricky, the arms dealer, lawyer, says, you know, he can get me back into law school if I want to go, or somehow says you need a bit of money to live here. I go, I'm, you know, an OW, and he's trying to hint that he's hitting it a buy-off, right? Because you know what? We put all the pieces together, and you either get bought off or you get out of here. Because one woman, a series of activists tried to get together in the past, and everyone but Sue and Monty stayed or left. Recently, Monty was pummeled, as I mentioned, and Leia, by a guy who was also, from what I hear, physically and verbally abusing his children. He taught his dog, and this was all purposely. Like, this guy was doing this on purpose. He knew what he was doing. He was turning his music up real loud. He was training his dog to attack this beautiful dog Buster. And he tried luring me onto the balcony, pulling me onto the 6th floor patio in my shorts and t-shirt when I didn't want to go, when it was a snowstorm. Telling me he wanted to share a joint with me. And when I pulled away, he grabbed me and I pulled away and I thought, I gotta get out of here. The fight or flight, and I flew. And he had his dog chase after me. At first I thought he was playing, because I played with Buster before and he's a beautiful, beautiful dog. I love Buster. But this time was different. This time was different. He was attacking me. But he was so beautiful. It wasn't Buster. It was Chris Walton. He was in jail for 3 months, and they held his place while he was in jail. And when he came back with a mission.
To the Maple Leafs on a great season. You gave it everything you had.
If there are a number of undercover police in here, like Andreas, like John, I believe, at the end of the hall,
98.1 CHFI.
who in the elevator, one guy said to me, "Are you watching me?" "No." "Who are you watching, John? Who are you watching?" How many undercover people are there in here? And if that's the case, how the hell could something like this happen? How could Gina be set up like that? How could Monty and Leia be pummeled? How could I almost get murdered by the same man? And you know they call it a suicide, right? Like they did with the other fella, who, from what I hear, was quite possibly murdered by drug dealers thrown over the patio. But we didn't hear about that. We didn't hear about the intercom system not working for 4 months. While people here need meals on wheels, and Marietta was left to die. We didn't hear about that. But we do hear the fire buzzer going off right beside that. The intercom right there. That alarm panel always going off quite often on the weekends. Can't afford to fix it. That's what I was told by the company that deals with you guys. Can't afford a couch, eh? Can't afford to have people get together and hang out and share stories. Divide and conquer, that's what's going on. Lack of accountability. After the Chris pummelings, Joanne White left pretty fast. Lori got moved pretty fast. Kathleen took off to Europe, or she's still in the country. We couldn't address these issues with you there. That's why, at the very last meeting, I had to speak up. And I got a big hug from Gina. But Bev used my name, but not my words. I asked if I could tape record the meeting. No. Lori said that's not going to happen. What's also not going to happen is the tenants will not have any say or any understanding or awareness of who is coming in here. And if you have video cameras, you can also see who's coming and going. And how about all those military folks coming and going? You wouldn't want those to be on video, would you? All the people running this place. What do you do working on us? Working on us. Gene and Sue were joking about this being some sort of experiment. Why all the people with military backgrounds? With all the undercover folks possibly living here. How could Chris be brought in? What did you know and when did you know it? And why did he have access to his children? And why did he have a dog? And why was he trying to lure me into a friendship? And why is Glenn all of a sudden trying to be friends with Gina? And why is it not in the minutes that when I was describing the drug dealer who bullies his way in, who Sue admitted and has seen him bully his way in, and bullied the tenants here, the vulnerable tenants, bullied not just to get in, but pulling them into crack use? Is that what's going on? Is this officer Brad? And why is it that Lori, when I brought him to her attention and said that a tenant overheard you, Lori, Wolfie overheard you saying to a person from head office, that's the drug dealer, and Lori then saying, we can't, escort people out if they're brought in by tenants. If he's just visiting here, what do you expect us to do? Just, remove him? Well, you've got military training, haven't you? No comment. You allowed him to do this. You were breaking your own lease, Lori McMahon. You are in breach of contract. And anyone who goes from being a stockbroker to breaking people's lives needs to become accountable for what kind of job they did while working with you here and what kind of job you did when you left here. Before you left, I told you you were leaving a very dysfunctional building. And when Sue got up and described Brad to a T, she jumped up and interrupted, described him perfectly. And that didn't make it into the minutes? Why is that? And you wondered, is he black? You said, is he black or white? And Sue got up and described him perfectly. She did not even write Sue described the man perfectly. Not only did she not do that, when I met with her and Wolfie was there, I said, do you remember when Sue jumped up and described him perfectly? And you thought, remember Beth? You thought for a good 20, 30 seconds. No, you don't. Well, let me remind you that that's what Sue did. And a number of other things. Words of mine that you twisted. Things you deleted, omitted. This place has been a series of lies and omissions. And all we want is the truth. And all we want is support for the people that you say you are supporting. And if you are unfit to do that job, then SHC must give up this building. And Bob Rose and people who truly care about the psychiatrically fucked up by the system people, fucked up on meds, and fucked up with tons of psychiatric abuse, both in the hospitals and in this place. The last stop. The morgue. The Walking Dead. Well, I'll tell you something. There are many beautiful souls here. But we do not want psychopaths. And we do not want military people supporting us. Because they're not doing a very good job. Find your own home. And leave us alone.
Oh, blasting
There's a great dining room, but no food is being served. There's an activity room, but it's dead. Old books that never get read. The only people who can sleep in that place or are living on the streets. Psychiatric brothers and sisters who've been fucked by the system. Give them a home. There's food right there. They don't have to move anywhere. Give them a place to stay. Get these military people out. Or admit that this is a military compound / psychiatric prison and get us home. Away from this sick energy of destruction. Burn the fucking place down and start new. This place isn't gonna last when that condo gets built across the street. You guys don't want it to last. You are destroying this place and the lives in it. And it's not by mistake, it's by design. So all we want is the truth. I think I need to take a break. Thank you for listening.
Go to the phones. Let's go to our wild card line to get things going. You are on Coast to Coast with us. Hi there.
One of the North Division final with Manchester. The Americans set it to Hamilton Bulldogs 2-0. A day after being ousted from the playoffs, Maple Leafs forward Tom Fitzgerald was on the Fan 590. The veteran says he'd love to keep his blue and white jersey.
I love it here in Toronto. My family loves it here. And obviously it would be my first choice to come back here and play. With the uncertainty of next year, meaning with the season, who knows what's going to happen.
And for Toronto personally, as of July 1st, they will have 16 players without a contract. It could be 17 unless they pick up the $4 million option on Robert Reichel. At the World Hockey Championship in the Czech Republic, the U.S. won its quarterfinal with a 3-2 win over the host team in a shootout. The Swedes picked up a 4-1 win over Latvia. Canada will take on Finland later on today. It's a morning start just past 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Some baseball history tonight. Mike Piazza hit career homer number 352 as a catcher. That passes Carlton Fisk on the all-time list. Piazza did that in the Mets' 8-2 victory over the Giants. Elsewhere, Roger Clemens moved past Steve Carlton for second place on the career strikeout list, carrying Raul Mondesi for number 4,137. He did that in a big 6-2 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Elsewhere, Arizona blanked Chicago 2-0. Cincinnati over Milwaukee in 10-5-4. Florida beat LA 2-0. San Diego 2. Atlanta no score. Philadelphia over St. Louis 5-4. And another 2-0 score saw Colorado beat Montreal. In the American League, White Sox over the Orioles 6-5. Boston beat Cleveland 9-5. Texas down Tampa Bay 6-1.
Get that some work. The mother of 4 legs. How?
Your voice. You okay? And you got to scream and yell.
Really?
You'll be like,
Go Argos! I love you, Clifford! You're the
for details.
And I don't think it could go purchase these.
Try to relate from a mighty witness.
It's really a matter of accountability, I guess, too. If we had a video camera and allowed residents to see who was coming and going, like they do in the other buildings around here, then you folks would have to be accountable. So Goodwin told me that your lease is not even legal. Now, how can a place claim to be supportive and not take any responsibility for support and for their neglect? That seems to me very hypocritical. And I think what's happening here is a systemic attempt to destroy undesirables. And, before the Nazis, I think I said that before, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying this is a concentration camp, because I've never been in one, right? But I can say that, the Nazis told the folks they'd be having a shower. We'd be told we'd be getting support. We didn't sign up for this. The lease is a lie. The organization is a scam. And there are many corrupt people working together to make good money off of our destruction. How many CSIS agents live here? Where is Gwen Hauser, someone who claims always to be such an activist? Whenever Shira. Gwen Hauser, whenever she bumps into me, she asks me questions about how I like living here. I'm always reminded that I never see her. And she said, "Oh, I'm there." I said, "Well, geez, you don't know what's going on there." "No, what, Dave, what's going on?" I said, "Gwen, you're such an activist, and you have no idea." "Well, I heard that there's been a change in the staff." "Why don't I ever see you, Gwen? Why don't I ever see you?" "Oh, because I'm out early and in late." And, remember I saw her at the bus stop on the day that I turned back from the OCAP rally to raise the rates, because I was so worried about my place being burnt down. And I got to Main Station, and I had seen Gwen get on the bus the same as me, and she got off at me and just ran away, because I didn't go and talk to her. I just sort of watched her, and so anyway, Gwen's never here. Gwen has smeared me. Gwen, I believe, is clearly, and also she's on her bicycle all the time. Tell me that she rides from here to downtown to the Fred Victor, where I run into her, back and forth, coming home at night. Wow. But we never see Gwen. I wonder if the staff knows Gwen. You folks know, your clients pretty well, So if I mentioned the first name, no, you're not allowed to mention it. David. Well, Beth mentioned my name in the notes. How the heck could she get away with that? You wouldn't let me tape the meeting for the 140 roughly. 14 were there. It was 100 for the 126 or so that didn't make it. Why not let them hear directly? No. Well, let's see how the residents feel. If anyone's uncomfortable with this being taped, I suggested, please put up your hand. And one fella did, but then he agreed to leave. That was Chris. And then Laura said, "No, don't worry, tell him to come back and it's not going to be taped. There's no way. And Bev was taking notes. So it's about who is telling the stories. And are the stories true or not? Because when the new worker is asked to take notes and run the meeting, take minutes, I mean, and run the meeting, and she misses a bunch of stuff and changes a bunch of stuff and uses my name but not my words, and in so doing has clearly caused me to feel more unsafe here. So I would like to sue the Supportive Housing Coalition for psychological trauma, like a class action suit for the psychological damage they are purposely doing to their tenants. We're not talking just about bed bugs and key entries. And again, the bed bug cover-up. Because they know a lot of us are trying to support each other, even though we can barely support ourselves. That's why we're here. But people are not getting better, they're getting worse. Under your mismanagement, you're criminal. You're criminal. You know, there's criminal intent here. If what we feel is going on truly is, then we are simply asking you to tell us the truth and take responsibility for this, what has happened here, so that it never happens again. And if you and us are on the same page with that, then let us get to the truth. Let us have a public inquiry into the mismanagement of the Supporters Housing Coalition and the conscious destruction of its tenants. Let us find out if this building is being used in the way that you say it is. If it is not, things must change before another Marietta dies, or another Monty or Leia gets pummeled, or another Gina gets psychologically raped. The madness must stop. The psychiatrists, the pharmaceutical companies, the agencies, they're all making money off of our destruction without conscience, but very consciously doing so. Please listen. You must stop destroying people at will, with purpose, with intent. And you can't call us delusional. It's happened to too many people. It is happening to too many people. I need to take a break.
Graduate. Because I have no questions. I just have something to validate. The late 70s, my ex-husband was now my ex-husband thing. About something.
And they scared of them.
Unwell. 6.9 K-Light FM.
All day, staring at the ceiling, making friends with shadows
Thank you for listening. On Wolfie, I met with Bev, and I was so upset that she used my name, but in many cases not my words. Or she omitted my words. Or there's been a strong pattern of minimization and denial. And when I was with Wolfie talking to her, Wolfie said, yes, don't you ever do that again. Don't you ever put names in there. He said, I came and told the girls about this guy who, they did something, and then he found out about it, and he beat me up. Don't you ever do that again. And then I gave her, then she never offered during the meeting to correct the mistakes in those minutes. She was just taking notes on it, but stalled and shut me down so many times that I couldn't get everything out. So I just focused on the, she called it break-ins, and I said it was keyed entries, and she said, what's the difference? I said, one is, there's no sign of break-in, and two, it's an inside job. Oh. Same with me talking about the drug dealers, which I never did. Because I don't know for a fact there are drug dealers living in this building. I do know that Brad is an undercover cop, and a dirty one. Because he's just like the pharmaceutical companies. He's keeping people hooked on something and making a profit off it. And Lori denies having ever seen him. Not only did Wolfie notice that she was talking to a black man from head office and said, that's the drug dealer. She didn't know he was an undercover cop. She just let him walk through. And at the meeting she said, is he white or is he black? Oh, so they didn't really want to know who this guy was, or claimed to have never seen him. And yet she told Wolfie that's the drug dealer. And even Sue said, yes, I remember Sue telling me that she had also pointed him out to Lori on another occasion. So what the heck is going on here? They don't want us to have drug dealers in here, and Lori's letting them walk in. She can't do anything about it if they're invited in by a tenant. Well, couldn't we do anything about the fact that you are allowing many undercover and military people here to destroy us? Can we do anything about that? And are you, or have you ever been involved with CSIS or any military or police organization? And has anybody else in the Supportive Housing Coalition been trained by any organization in psychological abuse or the controlling of an inmate population or anything of the like? Learned helplessness, the Stockholm Syndrome. I think we need to look at that. We need to look at just how you folks have been trained.
Toronto's best music mix 99.9. There's taking my life away. We also are trying out cannibals and good things.
And Bev said,
In the shadows.
I'll change it for next time. I'll be more specific, I said. Yes, and I won't use names for next time. After the meeting, I thought about it. I should have asked her to take those notes down from the enclosed case by the elevators. And then I thought, why would she not have offered to do that? And she said, for next time, she'll change it. I said, you know what? The damage has already been done. So she did not suggest anything to heal the damage. She left the notes up. I called her from Wolfie's, and I asked. I spoke to Laura McMahon, was not available. I spoke to somebody else there. Told her that I'd been made into a target by Bev because she misquoted me and left out important things in the minutes. And now the whole building can see the lies. Oh, I remember when I said I never said anything about drug dealers living in the building. Oh, I thought I heard that, she said. And then I joked with her. I said, geez, we're the ones who are supposed to be delusional. So either Bev is delusional, or
to my season pass.
She's covering up.
With my husband Jimmy. All summer.
And you know what? I don't think they'd want psychiatric survivors running this place. Because it would be a whole lot different. Bev said that she's open and interested in community building. I said, Bev, you can't build a community when you don't feel safe. And they're doing everything here to keep us feeling unsafe and disempowered. Learned helplessness. We are rats. They are the scientists. And I guess we are rats because we have the courage to come out. We have no choice. It's a moral disgrace that human beings, when they are aware, must make a choice. There are those here, many, who are aware, but feel they have no choice.
Over the years, you've given your mom a lot of Mother's Day gifts. Who could forget the breakfast in bed and furniture?
The dehumanization of psychiatric survivors is clear, consistent,
This year,
and highly organized.
A camera phone from Telus Mobility for as long
It is a mafia.
Some conditions apply. So hurry into
And
your
payoffs abound.
dealer or retailer.
The silence persists.
The offer ends.
Until now.
Telus. The future.
We must speak.
Hi, this is Athena. I'm feeling pretty lucky because I won playing the daily lotteries yesterday, and today I hired a personal life coach.
There are no people. There are no animals.
I'm wondering if I'm in a dead-end
All
relationship.
voiceless.
So what should I do?
Today is not tomorrow. You're worried about yesterday.
People here
What?
speak volumes. All we must do is listen with open hearts and open minds
ING Direct Mortgages.
to help break the shackles
I was wondering what the rate is on your 1 year.
of our fellow brothers and sisters.
Percentage rate for our 1-year mortgage.
Sisters and brothers.
Percent.
Wow, I thought you might be lower.
We can't do it alone.
But that's even lower than I expected. And I was expecting it to be
We
free.
need on-site support.
No, I meant that.
It was a joke, sir.
We need nurses, dietitians,
1-800-ING Direct and save your
trauma counselors,
Friday night.
Friday night, your weekend starts here. The Phoenix Party Live with the Mixes Freeway Frank at Toronto's ultimate party mix. If you're a she,
we are living
411. Look for the Phoenix ad.
in a state of ongoing trauma. There are many triggers,
Sugar just love the color. The Phoenix. The Phoenix.
keeping them afraid
Hi.
means keeping control.
And
Thank you for listening.
I don't know anything about say it, Josh. About barbecuing. There was a time when men like Josh.
Pro. First cut is the deepest on the mix.
I would have given you all of my heart. But there's so much
Just thinking, Lori threatened me with an N5 after she told Sophia that she was concerned about me. Wondered if I was getting sick. Yeah, we're all getting sick here, Lori. You guys are making us sicker on purpose. It is truly psychopathic what is going on here. It's not just the corporations. It's the government. And you folks are systematically destroying people. This is truly state-sponsored terrorism. You never know when the next bomb is going to hit. Just to talk about Brad and Larry have fucked with Gina psychologically and tried to get her involved in they were in talk where they would share what they wanted to do criminal acts with her, and you know, one of the things I remember her saying is they were talking to her about how they wanted to hurt certain tenants at the Supportive Housing Coalition. And it's not the fact that these guys, Larry, I think he's been in jail for several years. That's not the point. The point is, they don't seem to have a conscience, either of them. And they have instilled a lot of fear in Gina. And Larry, who has a bunch of white supremacist books at his place, was trying to tell me how much he loved OCAP and the work that they do. And he wanted home just a second. Deepest, baby, I know. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, so these guys have terrorized Gina, and also Larry has a crossbow in his place, and so they're white supremacists. They don't like Jews or blacks or psychiatric survivors. They should not be mixed with us. I mean, I guess the difference is it's those without conscience. There's a book by Robert Hare called Without Conscience, and I think that so these two guys become best friends, and they have caused Gina to feel very unsafe with them, and very uncomfortable, to the point where she had to tell several people, and I do not, she needs support from the outside. She's not getting it. Her psychiatrist did write her a letter, stating that she needs to move because, basically because she's been re-traumatized by the, I think he wrote sexual assault in the building. So whether it happened or didn't, it re-traumatized her. Whether it was a setup or it wasn't, she was re-traumatized, and she did not get the support she needed. People are coming to her and I for support. We become frontline workers who are very weak and strong at the same time. But we can't be parents to all of our brothers and sisters. It takes a community. They're doing everything they can to stop this from becoming one. And that's the pain that I feel and see every day. In their faces, on their arms, in their apartments, in their eyes, all doped up with no place to go. It must change. These are some of the most beautiful, intelligent, sensitive, loving people I have ever met in my life. Their pain is fierce. We need to listen. Thank you. How do you feel about video camera? What do you mean? Can we tape this meeting? No. Why? Confidentiality. We need a record. We'll take minutes. Who's telling the story? We'll be accurate. Bev wasn't. She was new. You told me she was very well trained. Did you see her minutes before she put them up? No. Why would you not supervise or at least look over the first minutes of the first meeting of the new worker who is under your supervision? We've been very busy. We didn't have a chance to talk about the minutes. Is it not standard practice in community meetings like this not to use names? Yes. So Bev did not follow the protocol correctly. She learned from her mistake and she's not going to repeat it. The damage has been done. She made the changes you requested. I didn't have a chance to request all the changes that were needed. We didn't have enough time. She didn't seem to understand the difference between keyed entry and break-ins. She missed a lot of stuff. She misquoted me. She used my name. Am I being punished for standing up to the neglect and abuse of the past supportive housing workers? Am I to watch you, Lori, and Kathleen cut and run, and Joan cut and run? The guy who sued caught embezzling, cut and run? To what degree are these agencies working together? How many of them know what is going on here? And how many are covering up? So, I guess what I'm saying now is that I do not trust you folks taking the minutes. Well, why don't you have someone from your side take minutes as well? We would, except we're extremely traumatized because we're living in a psychiatric prison and we don't have the strength or focus or energy to write down the pain which you have purposely, consistently, over many years inflicted on people at 550 Kingston Road. Therefore, we ask that we use an audio device so that we may focus on what we need to say and listen clearly to your responses. We don't have the energy or the skill to write and engage and respond at the same time. Even Bev couldn't do it. While there was her and Lori and Kathleen and Pearl, why did Bev take the notes? Even she couldn't do it properly. You expect those who are being destroyed by your system to have the strength. If she can't do it, someone who is, in your words, Lori, well-trained. We need support. we request the video camera. You know what? I think we're going to have to end this meeting. Why? Because we can't do that. Why? What are you folks afraid of? We just want a record of the truth. Why put the pressure on anyone to have to get it right? Put the camera. Tell us. Kathleen told us at one of the coffee groups that one of the folks here wanted to do an intake video, and asked us if we'd be interested in partaking in the intake video, so potential tenants could see what it's like at SHC. Well, this is a great opportunity to tell potential tenants what it's like at SHC. In fact, it seems to me that many of the agencies and the workers who place us here either don't know or do know what is going on here. And if they don't, then we can share with them today. All of the folks that can't be here will be able to hear and see what's going on at SHC. That's the beauty of video. Those who can't be here can still hear and learn and listen so that this stops. At the meeting, I wanted to tape. About 125 of the 140 residents were absent. If we would have had a proper record of that, a complete record of that meeting, Bev would not have made all those mistakes in the minutes that made me into a clear target and caused me emotional trauma. And Chris Walton has caused many here emotional trauma. How can you call this supportive? You must change your name to Destructive Housing Coalition. But you know what? I think we need to destroy the coalition that is destroying us. The madness must end. Psychiatric survivors must be given the chance to heal, the chance to paint and draw and create, the chance to eat well and commune and watch cable so they don't feel so isolated. How many people can't get cable because their trustee won't let them? How many can't get a pet because they won't be able to take good care of it? Bullshit. Everybody here should have a pet. Healing therapy. The SHC is not taking care of us. They have marginalized us. They have ghettoized us. And they are psychiatrically and psychologically fucking with us. We will no longer be rats in their sick game. We will no longer play their game. We must create what we can imagine. But first, we must see what exists. I need a break.
The career leader in home runs, hit by a catcher. He also went deep in an 8-2 win over the Giants to pass Carlton Fisk with number 350.
Could have reached 10 million euros a year. Only after months of protests from shareholders did he eventually agree to waive certain bonuses and a retirement deal. Miss Smolberg explained he'd not been well prepared and did not properly understand Dutch culture. The Dutch employment agency Randstad is planning to open branches in Hungary, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia. The company says there are opportunities there because of the recent enlargement of the European Union. It opened a branch in the Polish capital, Warsaw, last month. Randstad announced its quarterly results today. The agency had profits of 50.4 million euros in the first... Visit hr-uhomes.com today.
680 News Time 149. A Mississauga man held hostage in Iraq is now free. 680's Anwin Stanley reports.
Dan McTague, the Parliamentary Secretary to Foreign Affairs Minister Bill Graham, says Naji al-Kuwaiti has already left Baghdad and may be headed back to Canada. He says negotiators with the Foreign Affairs Department helped gain his release. There had been reports the captors were threatening to kill al-Kuwaiti unless they received $50,000, but McTague says it's unlikely any money was paid for his release.
I would not suspect that in such a scenario, we could consider those kind of payments. This isn't nothing that we've done in the past. Most of our work is consular.
McTague said al-Kuwaiti wasn't harmed, although his current condition wasn't known. Another Toronto man, Rafat Mohammed Rafat, is still missing in Iraq. Anwin Stanley, 680 News.
680 News Time 150. U.S. President Bush went on Arab TV to denounce the abuse of Iraqi prisoners suffered at the hands of American soldiers. Bush said justice will be delivered, but stopped short of an apology. Meantime, the abuse of Iraqi prisoners by U.S. soldiers is being denounced by Paul Martin. The Prime Minister says it's absolutely ghastly and totally unacceptable. Martin says it goes totally against the values of civilized world. Coming up, traffic and weather together on the ones, and I'm Scott Simpson with an ad invasion at the ballpark.
Who is on first? I'm asking you who's on first. Spider-Man.
Today's best music. 104.5 Come FM. 45 minutes of continuous music kicks off in seconds.
Red wine. I'll get back in a minute. I remember saying to Gwen when last time I saw her, and all she did was get off her bike, talk to me, try to get info, try and freak me out, talking about Jesus Christ and someone being slowly murdered, fucking with me, you know. I said, Gwen, it almost seems like you're never there. It's almost as though you don't even live there, Gwen. And she said, oh, I'm there, all right. Who else is here that we don't know about? This much is true. Everything I just said. Fitting Spandau ballet. Anyways, I'm going to save the last couple minutes for final thoughts later on. All I would ask on my own behalf and fully support those who... Well, I would also ask this for anybody who comes forward, that we be given the support necessary to remain strong enough to tell the whole story, and so that we live long enough to tell it. We need on-site support from many people here. Mass intervention. Actively destroyed. And Michael Prue's writing. Does he know about it? Does Chief Antino know about it? Does he know about Officer Brad, who outed himself at the donut shop in front of Ian and Roy and Jimmy and me, talking into his tape recorder, just like me? But they are not here to support us. They are helping to destroy us. The way they treated Gina and Sue when they showed up for the rape was deplorable. It was abusive. And it was as if they were not taking it seriously at all. They were laughing at Sue. They asked us if we were going to have a party after the news. I said, how can we have a party after something like this? They were ordering coffee on the phone, sitting outside Avis's door and joking about a rape. What the fuck is going on? If she wasn't raped, Gina was. And this has got to stop. She needs a safe place to get better. We all need to heal. All of us. Now, thank you for listening.
Every day is so wonderful. Suddenly, it's hard to breathe. Now and then, I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't.
There are many, many beautiful people here. And the discrimination and the dehumanization has been horrific and calculated. We must no longer suffer in silence, for silence does equal death. All I ask on behalf of my brothers and sisters, anyone who comes forward, is that we be given the support we need, and if need be, sanctuary. They will destroy us. But we must not let them. We will not let them. We are the canaries in the coal mine. People are dying. Some through murder. Actually, all through murder. Passive, active. It's all intentional. Some slower, some faster. But this is the end of the road. On Kingston Road, 550. Please don't forget about us. I will never take my life. If I end up off the patio, it was not suicide. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Yeah, I would say just share this tape only with individuals you absolutely trust. And we can talk about it after. There's so much more to say. That's all I have time and energy for now. Thank you.
Holding someone else.